time for comments, starting with the appearance, and then we can get comments from the faculty. That's so quiet.
It's just really.
That's just really. Okay. Okay. Comments? Yes.
Thank you for the presentation of that. The study looks really interesting. I just have one or two comments. So right now we are in an implementation sciences program, so it's nice if we begin to use terminologies that relate to implementation sciences. But from listening to your work, I noticed that you're doing it and look at individual-centered strategies, but at no point did that come out. It's nice that we begin to use those terminologies. When you talked about the participants you're going to include from Kampala, you limited them to those who understand Uganda. But when you look at the Uganda Bureau of Statistics report, they mentioned Kampala, Mpigi area being the most ethnically diverse in the country. So I feel like it's a huge loss for you to limit only to those who understand Uganda, and yet you can hire research assistants who speak Luo, Rujatitara, Swahili to capture as many people as possible.
That's interesting. I would have to include that. At all the different fora I presented, actually no one had brought that up. I'd earlier done some work, still under this program, for my master's work I was supported to do some work, and I worked in Tiseni. So when I went to Tiseni, I expected it to be very diverse. I prepared questionnaires that were in 3 languages. I had Uganda, I had Swahili, I had English, and it turns out I never got any Swahili speaking participant. So even all the Somalis who came, when you would ask them which language you prefer to have this interview done, they would say Uganda. So
yes, I guess from a background of what we did in one day market and ecology market, and there were actually many people who could not speak Uganda, and so extra people with different languages help. It's just nice to include it.
It's one of the interesting things about your study is that those who don't participate are very important. So the non or the refusals, if you approach someone and they refuse, they're actually the people we are most interested in. How are you thinking about that?
That's actually one of those questions I found very hard to answer. So I tried to just put a small component to see if I can reach them by looking at the group who would have accepted. We approached them and they accepted to receive our kit, but it turns out they didn't use it. They are also part of the big category of the refusals, like you have called them. Because there are 2 categories of refusers. There are those who will approach and they will completely say, you know what, I'm not interested in taking part in study. Then there are those who will actually receive our kit. Yeah, but since I was telling that since I'm looking at like I showed you in my rough framework, at satisfaction, the satisfaction has to be coming from a service, the intervention. That makes the other group that has actually refused this group not eligible for my work. But the group that has actually taken it and then later changed their mind, that's the group. And that's the group we'll be looking at in the last set of the study, the perceptions, to see what actually changed.
I think you need to carefully measure are people who have tested already.
Yes.
And who's whereby this is going to be their first time tested.
Just because for this presentation we were really limited, actually I kept telling Rhoda, these slides are just so few. I had a long presentation, but I've been working with this same work for the online course, and it helped me to break down the different portions of this work. So I will have several measures of HIV testing. First, if you look at an objective, I'll have if you have ever tested, but if you've also tested at least twice in the past year, or if you tested once. Then, as part of what I will call an outcome of this intervention, I will be wanting to know how many first-time testers have we actually found from the people who received our kits. Because I'm looking at a gap of 48% in this area where people are not testing. And I'm hoping that if we move at a household point, meet them at that point, give them these kits, we'll be able to at least catch some of them. And that's why we are taking all eligible males per household we are lucky to sample.
My last comment is you'll have to have a robust system to track.
And for that, much as I'm using the household entry, for the third sub-study, the follow-up, I'm limiting it to phone, if you have a valid phone contact, such that even if we visited your household, the first thing we shall have to find is you have a valid phone contact, and we hope we are also in the questionnaire designed that we can collect some information from the next immediate person, the head of household, but also your workmate, such that we can at least have 2 extra contacts in addition to what you've given us. And that's what I'm hoping to rely on. People who have done a bit of this work, I've been working a lot with one of my mentors for this work, supervisors, Professor Rosa. She told me upfront from her experience in this work, even if you have prepared a very large team, the phone is the best approach.
And you have to check the phone before you leave the field. From my experience, we ended up with fake phone numbers.
That's something actually I hadn't written.
You have to test the phone before you leave.
That's the real world.
That's the real
Yeah.
world. The last, I thought I had the last comment, but the so-called delayed users, those who test after 10 days, will you take away your kit after 10 days?
I'm not hoping to take away the kit. Luckily now, because it's no longer limited, so limited as it was earlier, because the Ministry of Health is also now getting on board. Before it was restricted to research use alone. But as we do the analysis, I think under uptake I'll have to have several subgroups. One will be about the late users, in case one uses it after the 10 days. If you've come back and you've not used it, because we shall still contact you. If we give a new kit, it will not just stop at it, it will give you referral information. But for linkage care services, in case we come back and you have it, we shall still advise, you know what, even if you receive that kit and didn't use it, please visit the health center, at least and get to know your status. So for that category, we'll at least be sure people can, and at that point you've actually refused, because we hope to invite you to participate in that non-users, qualitative study. We hope you can be able to pick a little more information from you, and that's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, thank you. One is, thank you, this is really robust. I mean, it has gone so far from what I used to do. In terms of giving a test, are you going to do any screening of sorts before you give these people a kit? Because I think the issue now is we are not trying to test everybody, but to find the missing 20% or so positives that we've not met. And in these 48% of the men who have not tested, are they HIV positive, or you are looking at the general population of men? And how are you going to tease out those who are more likely to be positive, so that you don't just dish out tests? Because this has cost implications.
It does have cost implications, but initially when I worked on the inclusion and exclusion criteria, it seemed so stringent when I included that if one has ever tested, that they will be put out. Because I was asked, if you're looking at a sexually active group and you have made your statistic of HIV testing to, you've made the most stringent statistic of HIV testing to be at least one having tested at least once the past year. Isn't that larger than the window, the infection window we have of 3 months for a rapid test? In other words, even if someone has tested, but if it's part of more than 3 months since they last tested, you cannot put them out of your study. So I am not in a way going to have a screening, but I'm relying on a self-reported HIV testing history. And that's really a limitation. But that came up because of that entire issue. If one has tested only once the past 1 year, you're trying to say in that whole 1 year you're sure they are not qualified to test again.
Based on that, I would recommend you talk to Agnes Joanita, because they did a study in Kampala and found only about 1 to 2% HIV prevalence among men who are most likely to have HIV. So people who had tested negative before were the ones who accepted to be on the study. So it's important to talk to Agnes Joanita.
For me, it's more of like an acceptability feasibility study. And for males, like you've mentioned, the men who are willing to test are the ones who actually are more likely to turn out negative. And going back to Dr. Sewitala's point, if we could, I'm not saying you change your study for study population, but it would be even, it would give you value for money if you targeted key populations or people who are likely to actually be the missing 40%. But my question comment was, how are you going to validate use or non-use of the kit, especially in men who may not be willing to, I will say I'll use it or maybe I just disposed it, because that is a very important outcome for your study.
Yes, so for that part, that's also something that we've been coming up since the beginning, and this is how we've come at it. If we give you the kit, we'll give you alongside an envelope, an opaque envelope to deposit this kit if when you've used it. And that's why we are coming back within a short period of time. But still, that only does a little bit. We still have to trust that this person actually given it has used it. So to minimize an issue of maybe one not having used their kit if they received it, if we come to a household and it has 5 males and they're all eligible, we give them all the kits. The 5 of them receive the kits, relying on literature that men actually test by peer, proxy testing and peer. So if at least there are 5 males and one is bold enough to take up the test, even the other 4 in the house that are remaining will be able to use their kits if they received it. But it still has a bit of limitation.
Okay, I think we'll take the last comment.
Yeah, very briefly, you went over the concern of the Ministry of Health. Does your design actually, is it able to provide information about those concerns?
Yes, I believe my design is going to be able to. At the moment, a bit of work has been done in the key populations, like Nelson was mentioning, but the community-based models have not been adventured into. There is only more work being designed at the moment, and it's the real world. So I hope if I can show that this can work in the basic lay community, I will have contributed.
That was not only a concern.
There are many concerns. There are major concerns. There are concerns with linkage have been reflected in the draft policy. They really want to see how support material works, and I'm going to give that support material. As part of our trainings and orientation, we hope that the team, for you to be able to go and participate in our data collection, you should have picked up some skills to be able to teach someone. So that when we are introducing this information to the participant, a potential participant, we're able to show them this is what the training material, this is what the testing material is, which will be mainly pictorial. And comes as part of the kits, but also to provide them a list of health centers that are available in that study setting. You can visit this health center or the other health center. I think it has about 42 of them, which can be able to be accessed. But since people always choose to visit a health center that's far off, we are hoping that by phone we can be able to know where they went.
Okay, the very last one.
Okay, I just want to give a comment on what you are actually talking about is, and linked to what Abra mentioned, is how do you probably reduce or reduce refuse? Coming from me, coming from a psychological model, is probably as your team engages with the population, is there where they're going to reduce or their potential to resist, so that they roll with. It's more of, this is something that we fear, apart from teaching you and giving you the information on the tutorials, can I prepare to quickly leave some of their fears to enhance their willingness to participate? Yes, so my other big concern, and probably you have captured it somewhere, is if, and I don't know much about self-testing for sure, but if I have tested myself and then I am positive, and you have given me referral information to go to a health center somewhere. If I don't go to the health center and there's no preparation there, and I'm so scared, I'm here alone and I'm positive and I commit suicide, what happens? Ethically, is responsible. So, those are interesting questions. Let me start with the first one. So, to limit refusal, we did some work
as part of the pilot within the Central One region in the market. And it turns out the men would prefer to have peer navigators to be the ones to introduce this information. So that's something I picked up, and as part of the teams, we are going to have work with VHTs, because usually these are people who are in their communities, and from workplace, and if it's let's say if I'm in Mpigi town for say, and their markets, I will have to look for someone in the market, like we did in one area when we were piloting. And with the peer navigator, people were easy opening up, and they just mentioned, as long as there is a colleague with me, I'm able to test. And as long as I'm assured that this colleague can actually convince me that life will continue. So what they actually feared was what happens after I test, the post-test support. But they felt it can actually come from a colleague, a peer navigator. And I felt that at the moment, no literature has shown that people have committed suicide. Matters is a fear that's shouted everywhere. Yes, I understand. It's a fear that's shouted everywhere. Yes, yes. It's a valid one because it has been mentioned, but no evidence has come up. So I'm hoping that even when we do this work, it's for the better, that the benefits outweigh the risks.
Plan for one another people.
I know.
So I think we have to end this, unfortunately, because
one small question that she can reflect on as she goes.
Okay.
You're using mixed methods, but you don't quite tell us how they come together.
Yes.
Are you doing this like spiral? Is there sequential anytime? I think.
So I'm doing an explanatory sequential design. I'll start off with a survey, a quantitative survey. The prevalence part will be a survey, and then I'm going to follow that up with qualitative studies at the situation analysis phase. Then still, when I move to the second phase of the study, I'm going to have quantitative studies where I'm introducing a kit, where I'm looking at linkage care, but those are going to have an intertwined qualitative studies following up, which is still explanatory sequential. Yes. My supervisor is here, and the professor committee is Professor Kamil and Professor